Hey, what's up YouTube? Sky Badger here, and we are back on what is day 5. So, it's a day after day 4, which was yesterday, and yesterday we initiated the war, I guess you'd call it. So, how things are going at the moment are pretty good. We're on the upper hand, and we have accomplished our first goal, naval superiority. Took less than 5 hours to do, but we got there. So starting with a swift attack against the destroyers, we were able to eliminate those without any casualties. Obviously, on a small level, we did lose individual men within the unit, but on a larger scale, the units have remained intact. So yesterday we attacked 4 destroyers with 6 submarines, so it was a 2v3 in each scenario, and we managed to not take any unit casualties, although we lost some men in those units. Then towards the end of the day, we found some cruisers, which you guys would not have seen, and I targeted those and took them out. Sadly, in that battle though, we lost a submarine. So we were 1 unit down, but he lost 6 in the process, so I think that is good odds. Now, we have successfully blockaded his ports, and he is no longer able to fight for naval superiority. If we come down here, his ports down here have been blocked with 2 submarines, and nothing is going to beat that until he can start producing naval bombers, which, looking at that for example, he might be trying to do. If he wants to stand any chance of ever invading me, he needs to recapture and regain naval superiority. As we can see, my submarine fleet is at 10 subs, and that is pretty good considering at the moment he only has 1. And I'm pretty confident he only has 1 because, as you can see, I blockaded this port up here, nothing is getting out of this port here, and nothing's getting out of this port here. So it'd be safe to assume that that is his only sub. So what I might do is, to avoid being caught off guard, is I might actually send these right up in there. No point sending them just off the coast. And although there's none here, I just wanted to make sure in case a industrial complex pops up here. But until then, I'll leave that just out there. So the reason why this is stationed here at the moment, not further down here, is because at the time I just produced the sub in London and I sent it down here to stop any troops that might be coming up here. At the time I was engaging those cruisers down here and had most of my subs in this area. So this is a bit of a choke point, and I now control it, which means because I control these 2 points here, unless he's daring enough to send troops all the way up around here, I no longer need to keep these troops here on defense. While I'll keep some back in London just in case, I'm going to move these troops out of Ipswich. Is that how you pronounce it? Oh, I don't know, people will tell me if I'm wrong, they always do. So I'll move this down probably to over here now, because this is more likely to be somewhere that will be attacked. Now, also with my aircraft, I was able to score a few low blows. He kept some artillery unprotected over here, and I managed to score some pretty good hits against that, taking out 1 and severely damaging another unit. Now, I pulled my aircraft back for the day just to let them heal a little bit. I'd rather keep my aircraft at this point than lose them. So we also have the air advantage at this point. While he's finished his first air bases, he has no way that he can even fight 9 interceptors. In fact, I think it's time we sent these out and did another scout. Over the next few hours, we'll have more interceptors ready for combat. We will have 11. So my plan is I'm going to build up to 15 interceptors, and then I'm going to switch to tactical bombers, and then from tactical bombers, strategic bombers. At this point, we have a bit of a problem in the game. We have naval superiority, and that is great. That is our first goal. And our next goal is air superiority, but we kind of already had that because he has no air. But I'm not going to rule that one out just yet, because even though we have air superiority, we haven't been able to do anything with that air. Like, yeah, it's basically worthless at the moment because we just got interceptors. So the problem is that we have naval superiority, so we can cross over and get in there fine. He can't send any naval vessels to deter us, to stop us. The problem is, once we get over there, he has superior numbers than us. He has better upgraded troops, he has more of them, he has artillery back in there, and we'd be fighting at a disadvantage away from our supply lines. So what I'm going to have to do to get around this is we're going to have to dig in and play the long game. If we do invade, it's going to be hefty casualties on our end, and he's going to have the upper hand. Building troops over here and sending them over just won't work. He has better troops than we do, and unless we attack at the right time and capture a city, which would be unlikely, it's very unlikely that we'll be able to hold it. And I don't want to pour troops in just to capture one city. So my plan going forward is, like I've already said, is the economic strategy. What we're going to do is, we've already blockaded his ports, so he can't invade easily, and I'm going to spread out my submarines to cover more ground, just to make sure that he doesn't try anything. And then we are going to start building destroyers, battleships, and the battleships, like, we might even be able to skip destroyers if he can't produce any subs, and the battleships will just be used to bomb cities like this and keep his troops away from the coast. Once we push his troops back away from the coast, and once it becomes impossible for him to keep them there, then we can start to do even more damage to them. We can start sending interceptors, tactical bombers, just to bomb these out. Even if he does retreat his troops, we can't hit them from the air, as we'll just take our own casualties. And I want to make this a really unfair and really lopsided battle. I want to make sure that I take as few casualties as possible and he takes all of them. So I'm going to play this slow game and really try to draw this out. Now's a good time to note that we need to spend a little bit on our economy. We've spent a lot of time upgrading troops and building troops to get this initial advantage, and we have seized it and we have got it. We have accomplished one of our goals and are very close to accomplishing air superiority, which was our second. So that has taken the toll on our oil. Around midday yesterday, just for day change, we sat at 245 plus, and I think it's time that we invested a little bit of resources into oil to ensure that it continues to rise. So I'm just going to probably build some infrastructure, would be the smart move. And we have also been building a lot of troops, so if we find a food producing province, I think it's probably about time, if we can afford to, which we can't, so we're not going to. I'll do that later on. We'll upgrade one of these to level 2. Now, my thinking is, I'm going to go for Belfast. He's starting to build air, and he'll be able to hit targets in here. Now, I have taken into account rockets as well, and I am going to start producing rockets as soon as possible. As you can see here, I've started researching them, and they will be ready pretty soon. And all I'm going to do at this point is, these rockets at level 1, if we have a look at rockets, which are in secrets, these only need a level 1 airbase to be built, but upgraded versions need level 2, so we'll spam a few of these out earlier on while we can build them at level 1, and then when they upgrade to level 2, and we need to build them on level 2 runways, then we will already have a good stockpile. But I'm not going to fire any off until they get to level 1. And then I'm going to start targeting some of these port cities and damaging his ability to produce troops, as well as produce aircraft and other important stuff. So there's one more thing that he does have over us. He has the ability at the moment to produce more aircraft than we do. It is worth keeping in mind, though, that even though he does have the ability to produce more aircraft than we do, we already have 9 more than he does, so I don't know. And even then, I don't even know what level his aircraft are. We researched level 2 straight away, and as soon as we have the ability to, we're going to research level 3. So it may even be possible that we already have better aircraft in better numbers. So that's where we're going at the moment. We're going for the long game. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to scout with my aircraft. And if I don't find anything, I'm just going to bomb out some of these stuff. Like, although this group here can do like 1 damage to a building over time. So, you know, it all adds up. Anyway, I'll see you in the next episode. Oh, one more thing, guys. You guys wanted me to do this every now and then. I don't see the point because the borders are pretty clear. But, yeah. Morale map is gone for 30 seconds, guys. I'll have a look at my watch and have a look at the timer, and I'll leave it here for about 30 seconds. Yeah, so can you guys see the borders nice and clearly? Like, I don't see the difference. Like, how can you not see the borders? Like, I mean, there's this big orange line running right down here. And there's a big blue line running right up here, and the fog of war also makes it pretty clear what's my territory as well. Like maybe if I turn off the fog of war, where is that? Fog of war. And maybe now we could understand, sort of. Nah, I don't understand. Anyways, let's turn that back on and go back to, yeah, like look at that. Pretty easy to see where the borders are. I don't know. Anyway, so you guys have got a nice look at what it's like with morale map off, so let's just switch that back over. And what's the, yep, that was about 30 seconds, slightly more, close to a minute. Anyway, there you go. There was your look at the map without morale map. So I'll see you next time.